Shora. This is Veronica again. I mean, guess who else would it be? But it is Veronica. Welcome to the stream. Um, and I guess this is also our first sound check. So, how to let me know how I sound, or if I don't sound too good, let me know. Um, if I sound fine, but you don't like how I sound, that's a different issue entirely. So we will see what we will see. I'll have so Ed. Um, I apologize for being AWOL in the last couple weeks. I wasn't feeling very well a couple weeks ago, and then there was the whole holiday thing. So thank you, Rachel, for confirming the sound is good. Um, so there are a couple things in terms of scheduling. Uh, the Strange Seeds game has been moved from December uh, 4th to December 5th. So that's from Saturday to Sunday at the same time. And we are considering a more permanent move from Saturdays to Sundays, given that that seems to work better for the majority of the players. So um, that's something that may be happening. In terms of this stream, um, hopefully um, we will be here next week. 14th, not sure about. Um, not sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, put it bluntly, I'm not entirely certain what the schedule will be for the next week, but I'll try to keep you guys updated. Um, because there is we've got a couple of family holiday trips in there, and I have a surgery in the middle of the month. So it's going to be a very busy December for me. But hopefully that won't impact the stream too much. Or if um, nothing else, then I'll be on the stream uh, while under some sort of pain killer, which could be amusing in its own right. So who knows? Okay, we are gonna play Revelation Myst 4, aka the game made by those people at Ubisoft. Let me know how the sound for that is compared to me, um, and all that. You may need to like some sort of um, standard animation I play on the screen for. Tell me how the sound is doing. Um, that might require me to start acting like a real actual streamer, and that might require that I actually stop saying so much. So who knows? For those who don't know, and that may not be many people in this particular chat or who would be listening to this later, um, Team Revelation
For
was
20 years,
oh,
I've harbored a secret. People talk about my sons, the evil things they did. Yet still I remain strangely mute. I do not discuss my own actions that day, or the rage I felt when I burned the 2 linking books that had snared them. Some people believe my sons died in those fires, but the truth is, they did not. You're the only one I can confide in, my friend. So I'm asking you to come to Tomada. There are things I must tell you about my sons.
Okie doke. Thanks for the sound check there, Rachel. I'm adjusting a little bit so that it'll be a little less loud compared to me. We'll see how that goes. But as I was saying before, Myst 4 Revelation wasn't actually made in-house by Cyan. It was made by a team of Ubisoft developers in France, if I remember correctly. And they were Team Revelation. Uh, they were working on this game at around the same time that Uru Live was coming out, or at least the beta for Uru Live. So there was a lot of communication between the fandom who were getting involved with Uru and Uru Beta, Uru Live Beta, and this Revelation team at the same time. Oh yes, we'll get to the adjusting the sound slider things. Don't worry. Um, so, in some ways, Myst Revelation has a lot better production values in the sense that it had the power of large a large developer behind it. But in other ways, it doesn't have quite, in some places, doesn't really have that Cyan touch because they weren't directly involved. So we will see how things go on. Let's see how the sound works.
This part's really, really cool if you're not afraid of tight spaces. Dad and me aren't, but sometimes Mom has to close her eyes when I'm driving. I think she's not home right now, because I never could have picked you up by myself if she were.
I have to admit,
Hey, is that an image recorder you've got? How cool. And you know, I know the perfect spot to use it.
yeah,
Hang on.
I'm hanging. So to speak. Get them out of here. Tamana is very pretty, yeah. It's always amazed me how much Atris can build by himself. Because he mostly builds all this stuff by himself, but then he's got, huge amounts of, steel and cabling and, all these, customized bits of machinery.
Isn't Tamana pretty from here? I remember some of the other times you visited us. You've always liked stopping here. It's one of my favorite spots, too. Go ahead. Take a picture.
Okay, we do have our little camera here.
Just make sure your thumb's not in the shot. Dad always ruins his images that way. Did you get it?
I did.
I think you should keep it in your journal. That way you can take it out and look at it whenever you miss us.
I do kind of like the fact that they, hang a lampshade on the whole, journaling and and picture taking here. No, you look, you've got a thing. It's right there.
I'll tell Dad you're here. Come on.
And of course, we've got our little hand thing here. And it, it changes what you can put over it and such. But it also has this weird little thing where you can kind of tap on things. Now I can't do it anymore. You can tap on things and hear the sound. From what I remember, here's an interesting symbol, which is what we always need. So we need interesting symbols. But yeah, so a little tink tink here, but a little less hollow here. That sort of thing. From what I understand, The ability to do this is actually a side effect of the code that they put in to handle depth of field. You know, as you can see, things in the distance are a bit fuzzy. So you've got this depth of field effect. So the software has to know how far something away is, and kind of know where everything is, um, as opposed to just visualizing it. So it also knows if it's in touching range. And so they were able to assign, you know, information, that said, on this object, if it's in touching range, then, then you can tap on it. But okay, here we go. Come on. Okay. Why is my movement not working here? Alright, so this is fun. I've forgotten how to move in this game. Oh. And it won't let me move because I haven't opened the door yet. There we go. This is always the awkward part where I try to remember how everything works at the beginning. Okay. And the important part of the game, which is playing with all of Adris's stuff. Rooting through all of things that Idris owns. Rooting through everybody's stuff is an important tradition in adventure games. Ink wells. That's on brand. Okay. Here. Now, of course, all the pixel hunting, There was something here I think I missed, but... Box full of crystals, that's always fun. These are ostensibly the crystals from Rhyme. There's the man himself.
Hello, my friend. So you made it in one piece. So Isha's driving wasn't too erratic, I hope. Well, you're probably wondering why I asked you. The truth is, I need your help.
Atris can't fix things by himself.
As you know, my son, Cirrus and Achenar, were trapped 20 years ago after they destroyed many of the ages I'd written. At the time, Catherine and I decided to leave them imprisoned. We'd hoped it might reform them. And now Catherine believes our son should be released. But I need an objective opinion. I must find out if either Cirrus or Achenar deserve to be freed, and you're the only one we can trust. Remember my old crystal viewer? I've made some changes to it, and I haven't yet calibrated its sound component. It'll actually be quicker if we do this together, and I can show you the two prison ages before we link to them. So if you step to the panel behind you, we can begin.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to transmit a waveform that's being generated by the first prison age. It will appear as a yellow line in your right-hand monitor. Here it comes. In order to hear Haven, we must manipulate the blue line until it exactly matches that waveform. The blue line is the result of two combined signals, which we'll manipulate separately using the 3 dials, amplitude, frequency, and phase. But first, we have to select a signal to manipulate, so move the slider left or right.
Ah, yes. Try adjusting the slider.
Now turn the leftmost dial to adjust the signal's amplitude or volume. The amplitude's pretty close now. Now turn the dial on the far right to adjust the signal's phase. Try selecting a different signal. Try moving the slider to select a different signal.
Oh, okay,
No,
fine.
stop. The frequency was good. Try slowing down the frequency.
Oh, it was fine.
Less frequency. Slower. Try slowing down the frequency. Slow it down. Try moving the slider.
Uh-huh.
Turn the amplitude dial. The left dial seems well adjusted. Try turning the center dial to adjust the signal's frequency. Faster.
All fine.
More frequency. Try selecting a different signal.
Hello, Zork player. Welcome to me trying to adjust the sliders.
Try moving the slider to select a different signal.
Let's see here.
Adjust the phase dial. Got it.
There we go.
Hang on a second. I'll lock in the adjustments and send you the waveform for Spire, the second prison age. Here it comes.
Try adjusting the slider.
Adjust the leftmost dial.
So, the story that always goes around in Myst fandom about this particular
Try
puzzle
adjusting the amplitude.
is the fact that Rand hates this puzzle. And that he was when he was first playing this puzzle, he kept like telling himself to shut up. Like, try adjusting the slider. Shut up!
Try adjusting the amplitude. The amplitude's pretty close now. Adjust the leftmost dial. The left dial seems well adjusted. Try the frequency. That's the center dial. Slow it down. The center dial seems well adjusted. Reposition the phase. Try the dial on the right. Try adjusting the phase. Left. Farther to the right. Try moving it right. It's not at the right position.
Thanks a lot.
Try moving the slider.
Try adjusting. So, I actually got to run.
Adjust the phase dial.
I got to run a game of Unwritten at Geek Girl Con several years ago when we did the Geek Girl Con, did the 25th anniversary Myst 25th anniversary thing booth at Geek Girl Con, which was a lot of fun. And so Rand and one of the games that I ran there, Rand played a character. So Rand is playing Unwritten. And he decided to play a character who had, who had some previous experience with Denis and the restoration because of a parent. And he
reposition the phase.
Yes, I know. And at one point, they come up against the device, and he's starting to fiddle with it, and I look at him and I say, "Try adjusting the slider." And he gave me such a look.
Adjust the phase dial.
He's like, yeah. I am the person that runs Unwritten. Yes, Zork player.
Reposition the phase.
I'm also the person who wrote Unwritten. At least most of it.
Try selecting a different signal. My fault. I shouldn't have changed it. Try moving the slider to select a different signal. Try adjusting the phase.
Pretty close.
Try moving the slider. Now adjust the center dial. The frequency's not right. The speed's not good. The frequency's not right.
I'm gonna have to futz with this more.
The frequency needs to be faster.
Faster, okay. He did know I was joking, yes. He just gave me this look, like, did you just really do that?
The speed's not good. Frequency's pretty close now. Try the frequency. That's the center dial. The speed's about right. Try moving it right. A little more right. Try selecting a different signal. Adjust the phase dial.
Oh, so close.
The phase is well positioned. You've got it.
There we
Change
go.
the phase. I'll just knock it in here. Ah, got it. Well done, my friend. You should be able to hear both prison ages now. So let's begin, shall we? What in the name?
I have that effect on machines. You see how my car blows up?
Oh, what a mess. The image modulator short-circuited wires are completely fused. Well, the viewer itself seems okay. So maybe if I link to rhyme. All right. Slight change in plans, my friend. Explosion must have shut down the main power supply and damaged the viewer's external image modulator. There's another one on rhyme, so I'm gonna link there and retrieve it. Oh, I'll have to stop at the cleft for some tools first. Why don't you get full power restored while I'm gone? Go to the water wheel control room. Close both emergency release gates, then come back here and use the crystal viewer to contact me. The crystal combination to see rhyme is in my journal.
Journal. Yes.
Oh, you'll have to turn on the roof antenna before the viewer will work. Keep an eye on Yisha, will you?
You don't mind babysitting, right? You're okay with babysitting. I'm sure you're okay with babysitting. Okay, where's the journal again? And as usual, Atris wanders off when we have to do all the real work. Where did he put the journal? I think I got a chance to finish digging through his stuff. Oh look, the journal. Where's the selector? I know I'm supposed to be reading, but you know I've done this before, so okay. So there's one of our crystal thingies. Let's see what other things in here to refresh my memory. And there's the end of it. Okay, we need to turn the power on. So how is everyone else doing today? Come. I forget which controls which. Okay. Where's a call thing here? I'm forgetting something. I always do. Oh, I know that there's more up here. I think that's the actual antennas up here. I probably should just look around. Oh, COVID booster, very important. I still have to get my COVID booster. Um, and I go up to the side here. Yeah, I still have to get my COVID booster. Um, yeah. Sorry about the sciatica. I can empathize there. I sometimes have that sort of issue as well. So, did you have Hey Rachel, when you got your initial COVID shots, did you have any problems with it in terms of just the side effects and that sort of thing? You know, did it hit you real hard, or did it get through pretty well? Yeah, I think I might need the power for all this. I was lucky. I was only kind of like out of it for a day or so. I got Moderna, so House Moderna. Woo. Um. Dun, dun, dun. Sure. Go back. Well, I'm glad that you didn't have any, nasty side effects. I know some people were really laid out for it for a couple days. And I've known a few people who, were fine the first one and then the first two. But the booster hit them real hard. So, yeah. You never know exactly what's going to happen. Wait, no, I need to go down. So you're a house fighter, okay. I thought that I'm forgetting something again. Oh, that. I'm lever blind again. Okie doke. Let's see what's in the middle. Yeah, Tamana's just beautiful. Tamana is, of course, in Eddy County, New Mexico. Okay, we don't know if it's in fact actually Eddy County, but it is New Mexico. Where's the door button here? There it is. Because it is, Tamana is, of course, on Earth. Hey there, Junie. Good to see ya. I'm glad you could make it. I'm just running around Tamana here and trying to remember how to use all the controls and trying to remember how I did everything the first time. Revelation's another one of the ones where I didn't, I haven't done a lot. I haven't played it a lot. So Tamana is somewhere within striking distance of the cleft, yes. How close to the cleft, I don't think has ever been actually written. I mean, it's ever been specified. But they're both in the deserts of New Mexico. We know the cleft is in Eddy County, New Mexico, which is the lower, the southeast corner of New Mexico. I do think you might need a bike or something to get to the cleft, or a car or something, but I don't know for certain. But yeah, that area is southeast New Mexico. Um, so it's not, and the majority of the people in New Mexico are in central and central northern New Mexico, and that's where the pueblos were, southern northern Mexico. In the southeast New Mexico, were one of the tribes of Apache. They were the natives. Um, I forget, it's the Comanchero, I think. I had it written down at some point. The Comanchero Apache, who were also, pretty well, the Apache extended from that area to the east into Texas and such. Interestingly enough, this is also the part of New Mexico that is actually north of Texas. If you go south from this area, you would that little western part of Texas before you hit Mexico. Um, but I did a little research at one point, and yeah, at the time of you know at the time of a lot of the stuff that the Myst games happen, um, there would have been small groups of Comanchero Apache in the area, possibly some Spaniards, um, and but it was relatively bare because a lot of the colonists, which were Spaniards, um, settled in Santa Fe. Santa Fe being kind of the center of that area, of that Spanish colonial area, um, and they integrated very tightly with a lot of the indigenous peoples, especially the Pueblos. So a lot of that was focused north and northwest of where Tamana is. Um, um, but yeah, I don't know how close the Cleft and Tamana are. That's a pretty good question, but I think it's one of those details that probably will never get quite explained. And I think give it a little light. There it is. Wow, I forgot. I hadn't turned power on yet. I guess that would be helpful, huh? Okay. Can't go that way because there's a small bucket blocking our way. Does Rawa, Rawa, Richard Watson. Um, he probably has an idea of it. I don't know if they've ever, made any specific claims.
Come here, you gotta see this.
So apparently we have to go see this. Gizzard.
Don't worry, he'll come back. It's his favorite sleeping spot. My necklace showed it to me. Got it 2 weeks ago on an age called Serenia. Shows me all kinds of stuff. You think that's strange that my necklace shows me things? Dad does. He says a lot of things I've seen on Serenia aren't real. My brothers believe me, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about Serenia more when we get there. Well, okay. When it comes to Rawa, there's a lot of information. But it takes a lot of work to get that all taken care of, and his rightfully so. The majority of his energy goes towards taking care of himself nowadays, and that, like I said, that's rightfully so. I mean, he needs to take care of himself. His wife is working with him to take care of himself. His wife, they have, um, I don't know if it, but they have land that they take care of, and they've got animals, you know, um, and they're, so yeah, I mean, we all want to know more about the background and say the language. But, he only has so much, extra energy. Now, as a part of the Cyan lore team, um, yeah, power stuff. As a part of the Cyan lore team, that's part of what we do. Is that we work, and if you don't know, um, Unwritten was usually made by a group called Inkworks Productions. Um, and that's myself and my wife Ellery and our compatriot Alamnat, aka Gary Buttle, who's one of the most knowledgeable people in Disney history in the world, and I can say that. Um, um, and then when Cyan acquired Unwritten, they bought the rights for Unwritten. Um, Arte. Don't forget Arte. I'm not sure who you're referring to there. But when Cyan acquired the rights to Unwritten, they also began employing Inkworks to act as lore curators. So we work with digging through their old documents, archiving them, combobulating them into information, and helping them with lore searches. And some of that involves discussions with Rawa as well. So things are being done slowly, but being done. The Story Night guy in the cavern on Saturday. Um, Story Night guy. Um, I haven't been to the Story Nights, so I don't know who the Story Night guy is. I mean, possibly if someone said its name, I would recognize it. I probably would. I honestly haven't been uh, to a lot of the events lately, just because so much time, or so little time, so much to do. Let's see here. Arte. Arte. It sounds familiar. Now there's a Tay, I thought. Um, Arte. Okay. Okay, so I'm not futzing with something here properly. Um, What am I forgetting? Probably many things. Let's see here. Which way did I go before? I went the other way before. Oh, here's Mr. Lizard. There is some new info that just got released recently. Last month there was a discussion between Gary Buttle, once again our friend Alamnat, um, and J.D. Barnes, who is an in-character um, anthropologist who works with the DRC. I am aware of J.D. Barnes because I play him. J.D. Barnes is a character that I created during Myst Online. I was able to work with Cyan on some small things. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Rachel. Yeah. Yes, I am J.D. Barnes. Okay, lamp, lamp, lamp. Yeah, it was really nice to be able to, you know, pop, pop. Which one is this? Oh, this is, oh, yeah, one of his earlier ones. It was nice to be able to, you know, work with Cyan to get some more information out. Um, Hopefully we will continue to be doing so. Um, there should be some stuff, information coming out on next month. Hopefully starting December 1st, I hope. Um, oh, that one. Oh, wait, that's Spire and that's Heaping, yeah. I'm gonna need those codes later on, but videos of the Uru story online. There at one point was something for at least some of it. Martin, who was a guy, you know, I mean, he's on the. Aknar, my love. That's right, that's that. Art. Brain. But Martin, through the great when he was working with the Great Tree, made several videos of events in Uru Live. The first Uru, the beta there. Um, Mostly without audio. It was just kind of mostly, you know, from transcripts and such with some animation and stuff added to it. Um, but they were pretty useful and they're pretty cool. I would have to, I mean, I would have to look. Hold on a sec. As I tab out of the game. Um, Maybe it's on Relto. Assuming Relto is still a thing. I don't know how long it's been before it's been updated. Rel.to is a website that had a lot of links on it. Resources, projects. Yeah, who knows how much of. Yeah, there's a lot of really old links on here, but yeah, it's got the old unwritten forums on there still. Yeah, it still has Starry Expanse stuff on there too. But yeah, Rail.to is a website that has about a lot of links and such on it. Let's see, official enthusiasts. Kind of want to always go in here and like reorganize everything, but I have enough things I'm doing almost all at effing time, so I don't need another project. Myst Lore's not even a thing anymore. You can't see what I'm seeing. I'm just scrolling through this website. Which is probably boring for y'all because you're just hearing me going. Let's see here. Do. Oh, there's Martin's music videos. Oh, here we go. The Great Tree Prologue documentaries. So yes, I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. And it looks like he never finished it, so you can see kind of, so you can see, a good chunk of the things that happened in Real Life Prologue, but like I said, it looks like he never finished it, which is a shame. But at a certain point, you run out of energy, and people have lives and stuff. So I need to get back to this game thing here. I'm doing. I probably need power for this too, don't I? I feel like there was another step in the whole power thing, but okay, let's go back to the power thingy. Henry Mitchell. The name sounds familiar, but not. I'm not familiar enough with them to remember off the top of my head. Oh, hey there, Yisha.
Let me guess. Dad blew the power again, didn't he? He does that a lot. Mom made him install an extra power box in here just in case.
Henry
Oh,
Mickle.
no.
Oh.
This box is supposed to make sure certain things always work in the house. There aren't enough rows lit up correctly. Only a green light on top of a failed row means something's getting power.
Thank you, Expedition Yisha.
Better not. Mom doesn't like me messing with electrical stuff. Come on, little guy, let's go see our friends. Hey, I never noticed that before. So cool. I think my beetles are making a nest. Oh wow. I'll have to show this to Dad soon as he gets home. He loves this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Dad's a dork. Oh, sorry. I'm feeling a little punchy today. Okay, let's take a look at this. I forget if I could make. Okay, yeah. So whatever I did there did something. So I think I'll need to direct some energy over to both those. That. I think that's how that works. Or from that. That. That, and maybe it's this button here. Okie doke. That's too much, of course. But we'll go from here to there. No, that's not what I wanted. There to there. Okie doke. And from there to there. Okay, now I gotta remember how to do these other things here. Let's go from there, there. Let's see here. There to there. Okay, I need a 2. I have no clue if this is a good way to do it, but so I don't remember the solution to this, but you know. So Henry Michael, is he that's somebody in one of the bleh. Excuse me. It's someone in the community, right? Ooh. And there, there. Oops, from there to there. Oh, heck, that wasn't as bad as I remember it being. Guess as I've gotten older, I've become less of a gotten more experience in figuring things out. I don't have the brashness of youth anymore. I really don't have any youth anymore. That's good. I forget what this does. Nothing right now. Okay. However, everything should be powered now. Actually, it wasn't the depth of field thing that they did. So it was this effect. Now I remember. It was this effect that, however, they figured out how to do this effect that gave them the info for the tapping. I don't remember the details though. Okay, so I'm all wobbly. Can't go that way. Let's see. Climb on up. Obviously, there's been a big kerfluffle. Okay. I should contact Idris. Not that he's gonna be any help, but I should contact him. Okay, so we have a few more people in chat, so hi people in chat. Feel free to talk and ask questions or bring up topics or any of them things. Okay, let's go out. Okay, let's... Okay, we can see various places. There's different places around. Oh, and of course, here's, this is where from you can see there the entrance that you saw in Exile. Okie doke. Let's have a seat. A lot of this game happens in chairs. It's kind of interesting. Okay, man. I think there's something else I was supposed to do first. There's another switch somewhere. Because I always forget switches. Yeah. Yeah, I need to get the... Okay. There's the thingy. I'm supposed to open it. And that is there. Maybe it's on the other side there. Oh. I, I, I remember missing something important here when I played this the first time too. So. Okay, that's useful. That is that, but is that a button I'm just not finding? Probably. Maybe outside. I think there was something outside. So this whole, lift up the page thing becomes important later on, and actually leads to what I think is one of the worst flaws in the game as it is. Let's see here. Something around here. There's some step I'm forgetting. I got a way to call it here. Okay. Do, 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 do. Little disembodied hand thing is kind of cool, but kind of creepy at the same time. Yeah. Stuff. Atreus's junk drawer is a lot barer than mine is. Okay. Forgetting. I think I have to open it. Forget where I opened it from. Okay. So how is everybody? What games have you all been playing lately? If any. Some of you may not be playing games. Maybe you got too much going on in your life, but that's fine. I continue to play No Man's Sky because um, um, it's an exploration game, so you know, exploration's always fun. Board game named Wingspan. Junie, what's it like? What's it about? Yeah, I gotta do the bridge thingy here, but I want to go up here first. You build an ecosystem of birds. Okay, that's kind of cool. Get points as they lay eggs and build their flock. That's kind of fun. Oh, yes. One of the important contrivances of the game that a lot of people don't like because it feels too mystical. The nod here to the fireplace puzzle is really nice. I'm gonna come back to this because I don't want to poke at it yet. And Rachel, you've still been working on the Cortex projects. Speaking of which, the community license was released today. Yeah, I saw that. I got that message. Um, I unfortunately have not had a chance to read said projects yet that you've been working on. I know you linked them on uh, the Unwritten Discord. Uh, do, 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 do. So I do encourage people to, you know, read them. I just haven't done so myself, so I'm a bad role model. Um, which is not an entirely new thing for the people who know me. Do as I say, not as I do. This is also an example of a situation that only Atris would actually design. You know, or maybe the Denis. Why not just have a couple more bridges? But nope, you gotta have one that moves back and forth. Here's our flashback mechanism.
A bit more of a curve.
No, I'm only 10, Daddy. I don't think I can make a whole world.
You're not making a world, my desert bird. You're making a link to a world. Come on, I'll show you an easier one.
Here's Atris actually teaching the basics of the art. Though what you see here is not art related at all. Though I guess you kind of have to kind of know the language to do the art as well as in the way that Atris knows it. Here's our new Cirrus. Here's our new Aknar, scruffy guy. Looks nothing like Rand Miller, but no. I forget all the things. Atris and Catherine. This is a screenshot from Myst Exile. Now, places that people actually live and eat, which is something we haven't seen before in the Myst games.
Your father's linking home tonight. Why don't we use the special plates?
I really don't like the characterization of Catherine that happens in this. We haven't really looked at it very much, but when you go to Catherine's journal, she's very. There's something very sort of stereotypical mother slash, you know, not quite damsel in distress, but there's something very stereotypical about how she's described in Myst 4, which doesn't mesh with any of the other things that we know about her. Riven and the Book of Atris and the Book of Denis. And I guess you can blame that off of this being a different group.
You don't make this meal very often, do you, Daddy? Maybe we should hide the pan before Mom gets home.
I guess it's another stereotypical thing. Atris, he's a scientist. He can make worlds, but he can't make breakfast. Silly men. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's a couple little details in here that are very sort of stereotypical, and I feel that's a shame.
If he's thinking ahead, he'll see the trap I've set and leave my queen alone. But if he's not, I may just win this game in 2 moves.
Anybody really good at chess? I am not, oddly enough. A lot of people assume that I'd be very good at chess, and I am not for some reason. Forgot about that. That's cute. I guess I am more of a creative thinker than I am a tactical one. That's good. I know some people who are very good at chess, and I'm just like, they're like, "Oh, play chess with me." I'm like, no, 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 no. My self-esteem's low enough as it is. And that bedroom, another thing we haven't seen in Myst very often. See this little thing here. Yeah, people who are very good at chess are very competitive at it, and I can understand why. Um, that's fine.
Look, Mom. Look what Ceres made me. It's a water spirit, just like I described to him. Isn't it beautiful?
Funny thing is that this, in fact, actually is a water spirit and not just some random thing. When I first watched it, I was just like, oh, she must have had a thing water spirit here at some point, and now it's gone. It's like, no, that's it. Water spirits just don't have very much shape. Aha. Yisha. The Serenia crystals. Atris starting the journal habit early with Yisha. Gotta, get the important things done quickly. I know there's a door there, but not going there yet. Another little cute little thing. And let's go take a look at the fishies. Of course, every time you look at a fish tank where they're fishing, you have to tap on it. It's like the rule. I think there was something else in here at one point too, but I'll come back to that. I still feel like I need to do the Atris stuff. Can't remember how to turn the dang thing on. Yeah, people who are good at chess tend to be very competitive about it. Um, so it's often not a game one just plays for fun unless one is a competitive person, which is a shame. Oh, I don't want to go in there right yet. Well. Let's go back in here. Right, that's part of the reason why I got into games like Myst, is because I'm not a particularly competitive person. Um, and I don't tend to do well in competitive games because of that. I like playing with possibilities as opposed to just earn my gear. Now this is how I win. Yeah, learning how to lose well is an important skill. I have this extended family member who's very much a very tactical thinker and very much the sort of, you play to win. Um, and I just don't work that way, so they're always sort of confused when I play games because I don't. I will often oh, I'll try this, just see what happens. And they're like, that's not the best way that's not the most tactical, answer. I'm like, I don't care. we'll see what happens. So, where there? Yeah, this is Catherine's journal, and this is the one where she, like I said, she feels it doesn't feel like Catherine. I haven't turned on the thing that that reads the things out for you while you do it. Probably that might be more interesting for people, but yeah. Collaborative games are a lot of fun, my experience. Um, Even if they seem to be sort of odd from other people's experience. Uh, I will head back up to Idris's lab. See if I can remember what I'm missing. Oh, it's the floor. I think is that. I think I've been passing by this lever. Is it? Yeah, it is. For some reason, I kept reading that as the lever for this.
See the really bright one?
Uh-huh.
A long time ago, when your great-grandmother Anna first mapped this desert with her father, she looked up in the night sky and used that star to find her way home.
Or if I looked around enough, I'd find something I'd recognize, since it is, the Earth's sky. There should be a moon up here somewhere too, isn't there? It was in the thing, but look, the moon. Okay, we got the antenna going. Come on. No, I don't want to go back there. Ah! Ivy. Yeah, Rachel, what you're saying is that, Pokemon is a competitive game, but role-playing is not a competitive activity. Which I totally get that. I would generally think that the players don't actually tend to battle each other. Um, you know,
Don't you see, Cat? The new design means we won't have to go to Rhyme anymore. We'll be able to view our son's ages from right here.
let's try the picture. No, not that again.
Don't you see, Cat? The new design means we won't have to go to Rhyme anymore. We'll be able to view our son's ages from right here.
Uh, let's go to my finger here. Oh, that's the first one. Okay. Okay. The other one was it was a tooth shape, but I don't think it was that one. That one looks a little too spiky. That's wrong. That feels wrong too. Let's try this one. But it was a light blue. Not sure if that's the right one, but yeah, I would agree, Rachel. You're trying to focus on the anime and more emphasis on teamwork and using the Pokemon's power to solve other problems. I think it's definitely the way to go. I think everybody's gonna. People are gonna want to battle at some point too, because it's Pokemon. Okay, next one is the same thing, but green. This one's dark blue, but I think it's this one. It's Pokemon. People want to battle. There's really not much you can do about that. But but yeah, I really think focusing on the other aspects is where to go.
My friend, are you there? Hope you're
Yep.
getting this. Barely receiving you. Listen, there's a terrible electromagnetic storm here. I can't leave Rhyme until it's over. But I know what you can do. Go to the desk in my bedroom. Below the top drawer, you'll see a symbol. Press on it to open two compartments. The commentaries I wrote on Haven and Spire are inside. Oh, and tell Isha not to forget her homework.
Yeah, yeah. Homework. Yeah.
My friend, are you there? Hope you're getting this. Barely receiving you. Listen, there's a terrible electromagnetic storm here. I can't leave Rhyme until it's over. But I know what you can do. Go to the desk in my bedroom. Below the
Yeah.
top drawer, you'll see a symbol. Press on it to open two compartments. The commentaries I wrote on Haven and Spire are inside. Oh, and tell Isha not to forget her homework.
Okie doke. Yeah, it's very the anime is very less crunchy. I know somebody who's really into Pokemon on the battling side of things. They're into those tactics and the strategy and the type coverage and all these things. And it's kind of a pretty interesting thing when you get into the details of it, but that's definitely not what the anime cares about. Um, but yeah, definitely not what the anime cares about. And if I remember correctly, like, you know, in the anime, you know, they win some of the battles in ways that don't make sense for, how they work, how particular Pokemon work in the game. And so for the sticklers, that's an issue. Um, not sure where the I'm not sure how how best one would handle that dichotomy that there are people who want to, you know, there's the story narrative part of it, which is obviously what the anime is doing. Um, yeah, they break the rules a lot. What might be interesting is that, you know, there might be a skill or an attribute that the Pokemon trainer has that is, their ability to break the rules. You know, maybe what Ash maybe not be the best, strategical Pokemon, player, but maybe he's really good at getting Pokemon to do things that they normally wouldn't be able to do. So let's go all the way down. I mean, this all comes back to that whole, you know, my whole tirade on, that you have to know what you want your game to do. Um, and sometimes you realize that, what you think you want your game to do isn't what you want it really to do. In a game about Pokemon trainers, you know, I mean, how much do you really want to spend? Do you want to spend all your time on, fighting various Pokemon? If there's going to be a lot of Pokemon fights, then yeah, you're going to want the crunch. Um, if you want more flexibility, then that crunch is gonna the crunch is going to suffer. Okay, lights out puzzles, otherwise known as the bane of my wife's existence. She really does not like lights out puzzles. Um, oh, that was much simpler than I remember it to be.
Patience, my love. We've almost finished the linking chamber. There's just the security seal to install. But we will see our sons again soon, I promise you.
This is sort of the symbol of Revelation, which of course it's sort of a map of Tamana. It's sort of a weird little beast, though. So I actually really like this particular gadget here. It's a little airlocky type thing. It's like an airlock for books, for linking books. Um, I think it is pretty awesome. It is also, I think, exactly the sort of thing that, that Denis would have come up with. This way of, having some sort of thing that, makes books available, but doesn't make them available, in an insecure way. Of course, we've got, Spire and Haven. Don't know yet if I should go through either of the books yet. I only have about half an hour left, and jumping into the books might be a big, that's kind of a big chunk of time and stuff. But I'm gonna keep poking around Tamana real quick. There's the other area that I haven't gotten into yet. We haven't spent any time reading all the stuff, reading all of the. Come on, go. You eyes. Why aren't you letting me in? Oh, really? I don't remember this. Definitely. Oh, no. There we go. So, I mean, that sort of little thing is something I like stealing. I've used it in a couple games or something similar to it. Um, I think that there would also be situations where Denis would actually use something actually like an airlock. I forgot about this.
Thank you, my love.
For what?
For everything. For this. And for showing me again and again that no matter how many mistakes we've made, the ending has not yet been written.
And of course, once again, we see Tamana there. And I'll say this again. Tamana is the Denis word for home. Where Toman is the Denis word for house. So the little on the end makes a difference. Toman meaning the to, which is a prefix that means a place, and mon means being. Being, living, that sort of thing. So the Denis language is very much like that. It's very literal and made up of little parts like that. You might find out more about that in the lore information that will be out in December. That more about that sort of thing, at least. Oh, here I am acting like I'm clever and I make a stupid mistake. Come on. La, 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 la. There are more things coming in the month of December, yes. You know, innocent emoji. Insert innocent, emoji with Halo here. Cyan has a lot of lore, and they do sort of want to see it in the hands of the fandom more. So, okay. I forget. Later on, this gets broken, if I remember correctly. But so there's this puzzle here, which is the names of the family in chronological order of their birth. And if I remember correctly, no, Atris is first. Atris. I think that's not Atris. That's a V. It's Avris. I think it's a misspelling. I know there are a couple intentional misspellings here. This right here says Rawa. There's a Christopher, and there's a couple other things in here too. Let's see. Where's Catherine? I think Catherine's in here. Catherine. That's Catherine. And it's not Atris. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that's Catherine. This and that is Aknar properly there. Where's Cirrus? Yeah, Cirrus. And where's Isha? Isha's right there. Is it just those? Well, that's it. No, see, I don't think Gen is in here. There is Atris. Catherine. Aknar is older than Cirrus. This little area down here. If I remember correctly, this is much more important later on in the game, but you know. I guess here they're sort of foreshadowing the fact that, you know, while Isha may be a very good writer, she's not much of an artist. You see that in the baroglyphs too. Kind of like that thing with that coming down here. That's kind of. I like stained glass windows. They're pretty. I mean, what house wouldn't be better with a secret passageway to a secret place? And this is Yisha's room. And so I assume that that's like a plaything that they didn't put there for her. I forget what's there. Oh, that's the airlock. But yeah, Cyan does want some more. Wants the players to have more lore in their hands. So yeah, expect to see more lore happening in the future. We'll probably experiment with different ways of presenting it. Of course, ideas are always welcome, as are comments and critiques. I forget, was there something under one of the pillows here? I seem to feel like there was something here, or maybe I just thought there always should have been. I'll go back there. I'm rooting around in their bed. No ill can come from that, right? One of the things that Rawa said is that The real Myst Island is bigger than what appears in the video game, and also in Uru, because pretty much what appears in Uru is the Myst, shape island from the video game. Is that there's supposed to be some, more things, under the tower, like living quarters and that sort of thing, because they did in fact live on Myst Island for many years with Tiana. And even though Uru is, considered, the real world, the real, cavern is bigger than the stuff that we see. Agira is a bigger, there's more to Agira than just the little spaces that we run into, and it's a bigger scale. Okie doke. So I'll probably go into one of the ages, and then we'll look around a little bit and then may save relatively soon. In fact, I should probably do a save right now. Save game. Just in case. That work? Yes. Oh, I probably should just go back, but So, however, we've got 2 ages. Which one should I go in first? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Do we want to go into Haven first, or do we want to go into Spire first? So think about that for a moment. Put your opinions in the chat, and I will wait patiently. It's always an option for Unwritten games, yes, to explore beyond the edges of the ages we've explored. Absolutely. That's the whole point of Unwritten. Take what we've got and run with it. Okay, we've got 1 vote for Haven. Anybody else? Zorp player, Junie. Do you have opinions? Wait, sorry, I shouldn't do that again. Random thing that has nothing to do with Myst. I went to college with one of the winners of the Jeopardy tournament, the Jeopardy college tournament. She won while I was there. So, Haven going once. Oh, the question was which age? Which age should I do, Spire or Haven? We've got 1 vote for Haven. I wonder if I should turn down the chat delay. It might be easier for talking with people. Apparently I dislike dead air. Haven, 2, it's 2 for Haven. That's good enough for me. The speedrun skips Haven entirely. I admire the art of the speedrun. And I admire the fact that speedruns, take games and give them a new kind of way to be played. But speedruns feel like a weird thing when it comes to games like this. Okay. Big explosion. And stuff. Run, Nisha! The camera gun is after you! The little signal horn. And there's the book back. I'll take a look at it. I'm not going back. Is there anything else here that's interesting? No. I like the little electrical charge still left here. And of course we've got our crystals. So, canonically, Atris writes this into the age. And obviously, in the last 20 years, Atris has gotten better at the art than when he, like, wrote, say, Stone Ship. But it's really interesting, the dichotomy between what they say that, the Denis could do with the writing. They couldn't, there are certain things that the Denis just could not describe in detail enough, like in ecosystems or, and yet if you do things the right way, you can just, stick a whole complex building in. I mean, I don't know how much of this, was actually constructed. But, there must have been some, Atreus is not going to hang out here and build something when he's, afraid of, possibly being attacked by, his sons. So obviously the structure and, the bars have to be there. And then that means, he's got this little, bit of, ornamentation on it. How do you write that into an age? Do you have to, essentially write, design the structure and then somehow write the blueprints of it in? You know, you know, did it, But I mean, I think it definitely underlines the fact that the Denis art, take on the art, is incomplete. And from some reference points, it seems to be intentionally so. Rittenref, intentionally kind of made things harder on the Denis because he felt it was a better idea. Oop. Little creature. Yeah. Ah. We got our little... Ten Quataloos on the newcomer! Dun 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 dun. Not sure which one's newcomer, but 10 Quataloos. If you get that reference, you may be old. Well, it is almost time. So, I'm gonna go ahead and save. Fast travel. Always a good thing. I'm gonna go ahead and save my game, even though I haven't gotten much further than last time I saved, but... Starting even. So, thank you for being here. And I really appreciate you guys who tend to show up almost every time I do. Um, and I know that, my attendance on the stream isn't always particularly regular. My life is 31 flavors of chaos. Um, the butter prickle chaos is particularly weird. But I do appreciate people keep coming back here to listen to me. Um, and, feel free to, when you're here, inject your own ideas. If there are topics you want to talk about, please, bring it to, I mean, you have to listen to me because I'm the person with the audio in this situation. Um, but it's definitely not just, the Veronica show. Um, I mean, technically it kind of is, but anyways. Anyways, so thank you for being here. Um, thank you very much, Junie. You're a sweetheart. Um, as a reminder, the next Strange Seeds games will be not on December 4th, but on Sunday, December 5th, same time, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific. And we're looking at possibly moving all of the games to Sundays instead of Saturdays. Um, so um, I'm still, I think at every stream I've said this, but I'm toying with more streams. Um, though I might end up doing things that are not Myst related. I don't know. Maybe we'll go a little bit more traditional streamer side and just throw me at games and see what happens. Um, we might be looking at some other things too, but also keep an eye out for for new things that you might see out there um, in the month of December. So thank you very much for being here, and I hope I will be here next week. Check out the usual places for when I have a chance to like solidify my schedule. Shura. Oh, by the way, it's not said like that. You don't roll your R's in the day. But anyways, Shura.